Welcome to the heart of darkness, where the streets whisper secrets and every corner holds a tale of intrigue. Prepare to immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding world of crime as we journey through the labyrinthine streets of capital crimes. Today, we are uncovering the mastermind behind the American deception of Charles Ponzi, so here we go. Have you ever heard about the man who became the infamous inventor, the mastermind of the scam that bears his name? Charles Ponzi, one of America's financial crime men. People often call him as Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme. The pyramid scheme, popularized by Charles Ponzi, is a long-standing financial fraud that continues to deceive people today. Ponzi's name is synonymous with financial fraud, and the Ponzi scheme remains a term used to describe such deceptive practices. The video delves into the life of Ponzi, the mastermind behind this infamous get-rich-quick scheme, and the enduring impact of his actions on the investment world. Charles Ponzi, born in 1882 in Italy, faced a difficult childhood characterized by natural disasters and political turmoil. After emigrating to the United States in 1903, he struggled to find stable employment. Despite these setbacks, his ambition and fearlessness remained. In 1919, he discovered an idea to capitalize on exchange rate differences by purchasing international reply coupons in weaker countries and reselling them in the United States at a profit. He pitched this strategy to investors, promising impressive returns. Ponzi's entrepreneurial spirit remained unwavering. In 1903 November, Ponzi arrived in Boston with $200, claiming to have left Italy with $200. He learned English and worked in various jobs, often being fired or quitting due to theft or shortchanging customers. He moved to Montreal, Canada, where he worked as a bank teller. After a 3-year prison sentence in Quebec for forgery, he began helping smuggle Italian immigrants into the United States, leading to 2 more years in prison in Atlanta. In 1917, Charles Ponzi, a 35-year-old in Boston, met Rose Gnecco on a streetcar platform. He was immediately drawn to her beauty and decided to marry her. They worked at various jobs, including his father-in-law's grocery store, an import-export company, and his wife's fruit company. Rose supported Charles through tough times and his journey to riches, providing him with a 12-room mansion, servants, and a custom-built limousine. She stayed with him even when his scheme failed and he went to jail for mail fraud. They eventually divorced in the mid-1930s. In 1919, a small export-import business owner, Alberto Ponzi, discovered the money-making potential of using international reply coupons, IRCs, as a voucher in exchange for local postage stamps. He discovered the practice of arbitrage, where he bought IRCs in Italy for one price and exchanged them for higher-priced postage stamps in the US, creating significant profit when done at scale. Ponzi's discovery of the racket of IRCs led him to discover the practice of arbitrage, which involves buying and selling assets simultaneously in 2 different markets. If Ponzi had stopped there, he likely would have been free and clear. The racket of IRCs, which Ponzi found in Italy, could have been used to buy IRCs in Italy for one price and exchange them for higher-priced postage stamps. Ponzi's scheme initially attracted investors who were captivated by the idea of making substantial profits in a short period. However, his operation was inherently unsustainable. As new investors poured in money, Ponzi used these funds to pay off previous investors, creating a pyramid-like structure. The scheme could only continue as long as new investments outpaced the withdrawals. The turning point came when a curious reader, William H. McMasters, became skeptical of Ponzi's scheme. He wrote a letter to the Boston Post, questioning the legitimacy of Ponzi's operations. The newspaper took this matter seriously and started investigating the scheme, quickly revealing its fraudulent nature through a series of articles. The news articles triggered widespread panic among Ponzi's investors, leading many to demand their money back. Ultimately, Ponzi's scheme collapsed under the weight of its unsustainability. The investors' panic intensified as Ponzi struggled to meet their demands for withdrawals. He was soon arrested and faced numerous charges of fraud. The Boston Post's expose and the resulting panic led to Ponzi's downfall. Ponzi received a light sentence of just 5 years in federal prison for his fraudulent scheme. Despite the severity of his actions, he managed to admit guilt for only a fraction of his fraudulent activities, causing outrage among those who believed he deserved a harsher punishment. After his release and deportation to Italy in 1934, Ponzi tried to rebuild his life but remained involved in fraudulent schemes. Despite his efforts, he spent his final years in poverty. The Ponzi scheme serves as a cautionary tale for investors, emphasizing the dangers of blindly trusting promises of high returns and the importance of thorough research before investing. In 1920, the Boston Post published a flattering feature on Ponzi, claiming his net worth at $8.5 million. However, the US Post Office Department announced new conversion rates, which officials claimed had nothing to do with Ponzi. Investigations began, but little progress was made. Ponzi declined investments, causing a run by current investors and reportedly paying out over $1 million. He was convicted of federal mail fraud and served 3.5 years in prison. He died in Rio de Janeiro in 1949. In 1920, Charles Ponzi's scheme unraveled when the Boston Post investigated his returns, leading to a run on his company. He was arrested and charged with mail fraud, owing $7 million. He pleaded guilty and spent 14 years in prison. He divorced in 1937 and died penniless. Charles Ponzi's legacy endures through the term Ponzi scheme and the enduring cautionary tale of his financial fraud. His life and actions have inspired books, movies, and academic studies, captivating people with the audacity of his get-rich-quick scheme. It is essential to remember that financial fraud remains a genuine threat today, and scammers will continue to exploit unsuspecting victims. Protecting oneself from financial scams requires vigilance, skepticism, and thorough research. Avoiding greed and exercising caution can help safeguard against becoming a victim of financial fraud, ensuring a safer investment journey. Thanks for tuning in to another eye-opening episode on capital crimes, where we uncover the truth behind the dollars and cents. Before you go, fam, remember this: knowledge is power, and action is key. If you're as passionate about uncovering financial wrongdoing as we are, then don't forget to drop a comment below with your thoughts, smash that subscribe button, and share this video with the squad. Together, let's keep exposing the dark side of the financial world and keep chasing the truth.